Hey guys, welcome back to another Aimsurplus Man video. In today's video I want to talk about police issue guns, or otherwise known as police surplus. So yeah guys, military surplus is kind of dried up here lately. A lot of batches really and surplus is coming around as Royal Tiger imports, and a few off and ends from maybe a few Carcanos from Italy or a few Swiss rifles from Switzerland. But other than that, surplus is kind of dried up, and unfortunately the prices kind of kept people away from the hobby. I mean, when you can get a more practical firearm for the same amount of money or less, and ammunition with that firearm than you could an old mill serp, it's kind of driving people away from maybe purchasing those. But I think it's interesting to talk about a different kind of surplus, and that's going to be police surplus. And if you don't know what police surplus is, a lot of these different companies like Aimsurplus, name one, Palmetto State Armory, Sportsman's Guide, gets a lot of law enforcement trade-in handguns, shotguns, rifles, and they're great value. They're usually great prices, and the firearms are usually in fantastic condition, not been shot very much. A little wear cosmetically, but usually guns are functionally sound. And I kind of want to talk about a recent acquisition from Aimsurplus. This is actually a purchase gift from a very special person in my life. And they picked this up for me from Aimsurplus, and I kind of want to talk about it. So what this is going to be a Gen 2 Glock 17 that Aimsurplus is actually offering right now. I believe Palmetto State Armory and also Sportsman's Guides are offering them. And what these guns are, like I had mentioned, these are Gen 2 Glock 17s. Now these are oldies, and they are actually, what's really cool about them, they're ex-Washington DC police guns. You can see by the serial number there, by DC. Yeah, these are ex-Washington D.C. Police Department guns, and no doubt these have been in service for many years, and it's very cool to get my hands on this. I've actually had it for a while, and I put off making a video on it just because I wanted to shoot it and really show you guys and give you guys an honest review what I think about police issue guns. So before we get into it, let's go ahead and drop our magazine. If that mag gives you any idea how old this gun is, check it out. This is during the Clinton ban era. You can see it restricted government law enforcement use only. We have a date of 9/13/1994, so gives us a pretty good idea when this pistol was probably manufactured, probably around the early to mid 90s. So it's been in service with the law enforcement for a while, and now it's serving me, so it's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and check it. Firearm is cleared, and drop our striker. So yeah, these Washington D.C. guns, what I think about them, well, obviously the Talon Grips didn't come on here, and that kind of brings me to my point. I actually used this gun recently in my Kentucky Concealed Deadly Weapons class, and I've been shooting it quite a bit and getting adjusted to it. And guys, this firearm is really nice. This batch, and I believe this is batch number 2 that Ames has got in, and this batch of guns seem to be really nice. I'll let you get a kind of look here. We can see slide wear is minimal on these guns, and we'll break the gun down here in a minute, and I'll show you guys what everything looks like on the inside. But we can see slide wear is literally minimal. Now, we do see just the slightest bit of wear on the frames, where these have probably been carried around in Safariland holsters, and those do tend to wear the frames down a little bit. You kind of can see it's kind of slick, and that is one problem I found with this firearm when using it in my concealed carry class, shooting it and getting adjusted to it, is that these frames are really slick. Now, I don't know if you know this or if you're a Glock fan, but if you use a Glock for a certain amount of time, they start to get really like slick. I don't know if they just, the polymer attracts like oils from the slide whenever you oil your pistol, or just hand oil, but it starts to get kind of like a slick, and when your hand's sweating, you're holding this, it's kind of not as aggressive as it needs to be. So I threw on some Talon Grips. That is, to me, the best, absolute best, most inexpensive upgrade you can do to your handgun. I have them on all my everyday carry handguns. They're excellent. This is actually their granulated texture, and man, they just give you excellent grip purchase on the handgun. They're just kind of like a really light grit sandpaper, and you can really get on the gun and do what you need to do and do the work. So yeah, actually, like I said, I use this in my concealed carry class. This gun is very accurate, still functionally sound, and I forgot to mention these guns still have active night sights, which is crazy. These guns are no doubt 20+ years old, and the night sights are still active in them. And I guess I forgot to mention price. I think these are coming in around $350. I think Palmetto has them at the cheapest price, $319, even though sometimes they're on sale for $299. So they're an excellent value. Let's go ahead and break the gun down. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside, and we can kind of talk about it a little more. Okay, guys, we got our Glock 17 broke down here, so you can take a look. All the internals are pretty nice. Now, it is slightly dirty from when I've been shooting it, but you can see the internals are in pretty nice condition. Just a little bit dirty. Nothing crazy though. You can see I got my Lucas gun grease on the rails there. We can look at our barrel, the wear right here on top of the breech. Minimal. We can see on right here, minimal amount of wear. We can look at down our bore. You can see our feed ramp. Not much really at all. I'd say this gun's probably had maybe around, I don't know, maybe less than 1,000 rounds. It could have more. It's not really a lot. You can see inside of our slide here. Everything looks in fantastic shape. Like I said, it's a little dirty while I've been carrying it. I've actually been using it as an everyday carry piece, and I've really been enjoying it, guys. It's been an excellent firearm. So why bother, right? Why bother with Police Surplus? Well, like I said, the price. You can usually get these, like I said, around $2.99, which I think is extreme value considering that you're getting a Glock, which is, if you know, a Glock is a very reliable firearm. Sometimes they get in police trade-in SIG 226s, Beretta 92s, M&Ps, pretty much any police department issued firearm you can get for a pretty good deal when they trade their old guns in and try to get new ones. And this is the same thing here. These guns have no doubt been in service for many years, and they just work, guys. These old Glocks, they never die. They're excellent firearms. Like I said, it still serves me to this day, and I've been firing it and shooting it, and it just does really good. It's a really good shooter. But there's something to be said for Police Surplus guns. You know, guys, this is like an interesting piece of history, no doubt, with the Washington, D.C. Police Department. Does that make it worth more than any other Glock? No, but it is kind of cool nonetheless, especially when surplus, actual military surplus is drying up. And, you know, it's kind of hard to accumulate, kind of hard to get your best bang for your buck, shall you say. But one of these, you can pick them up relatively cheap, get you 1,000 rounds of ammo, and just go out to the range and blast, and not feel bad for dinging it up, not feel bad for adding any wear to it because it's already got wear. You can't wear these guns out. They're usually shot very little, carried a lot, so you can really get a good value when it comes to Police Surplus weapons. I'll go ahead and throw it back together, and we'll go ahead and finish up, and I'll show you my final thoughts, what I think. One thing I forgot to mention when it comes to these Gen 2 pistols is you notice that they do not have any accessory rail. So that's indicative of the Gen 2 firearm here. You can see we have our single pin on the frame. We do not have any finger grooves, and it's odd because you can see this little finger cut out to grab your magazine. Now on the early Gen 5 guns, they actually brought that back, and a lot of people complained about it, so they got rid of it. But that was actually a feature here on these Gen 2 guns. You can see, just like I already mentioned, no accessory rail. And we do have the old Glock finish. It's leaving me what this is actually called at the moment, but this finish is extremely tough. I have a Glock 19 early Gen 3 that still has this Gen 2 style finish on it. It is extremely resilient to corrosion. I've carried that gun everywhere through humid conditions in the waistband, wintertime, moisture, and that gun has never ever rusted on me. Of course, I keep my firearms wiped down with that. This finish, guys, is extremely tough, and I believe they actually are not allowed to manufacture it no more. It's kind of why they went to that newer Gen 4 finish. If you guys remember, on the Gen 4 guns, they were very bad to rust. Actually, my PD I used to work for had an issue with their Gen 4 guns rusting really bad on the slides. They would bring them in, and the slides would be terribly corroded. The speckles of sugar rust everywhere. They did not hold up. But these Gen 2 finishes, guys, and the early Gen 3 guns, for it to be a 20+ year old gun and you know this has been carried in and out of holster by the frame wear, and for it to look this good still, just needs to be wiped down a little bit. That is a testament to this finish. So yeah, I think Police Surplus guns, guys, give them a shot. You know, Ames has a lot to pick from. They're one of the best distributors to pick you up a nice piece of Police Surplus. Like I said, they still have these in stock. Go check them out. They also have a large amount of shotguns, police trade-in shotguns. They usually get a lot of nice assortment of Colt, AR-15, Smith & Wesson, Armalite, Bushmaster. You think of it, they usually get it in. So, guys, go check them out. I just wanted to give you a quick overview what these Gen 2 Washington, D.C. police guns look like and why you should pick up a Police Surplus firearm. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and God bless.